What do you do when you feel overwhelmed? Today I sat down and I made a list of the things that I typically tend to do to try to manage overwhelm. And I realized that it's the same sort of thing most of the time that helps me with that. And today I'm going to take the time to do those things from the list and share them with you as I go through my day, because it's been an overwhelming week and today I have some time to do the things that just bring me back to calm and peace and get rid of that overwhelm. So come along. When I was making my list of things that help me to handle overwhelm, there were two basic categories. The first one is clear your space. And there are three sections to that category. The first one is tidy your space. And I'm going to focus today on the kitchen. There is just something about looking at chaos that can make your mind feel chaotic. So if you have mess around you, there's a good chance it's affecting your overwhelm. So that's the first step, is just get to work and one by one start putting things away and clearing the space. And if your surroundings are particularly messy and overwhelming and it's hard to start, I suggest setting a timer. Pick a period of time that you're willing to spend, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, something that's not overwhelming, and get to work without the pressure to finish the task. Chances are, by the time your timer goes, you're going to be so into it and excited about the progress you're making that you're going to feel like going even longer. And if you don't put any pressure on yourself. As soon as that timer goes, you're off the hook if you don't feel like continuing. Once you finish tidying, the second part is clean your space. And I'm sticking in the kitchen, starting with the dishes. And there's something about the cleaning phase where your mindset really matters, because you can clean and feel really resentful and annoyed and frustrated about the mess that exists, or the other people in your household who allowed the mess to get to this point and didn't help you or didn't do the job right, things like that. Or you can get yourself to a place where you think about how you want your space to be and how you have the control to get it that way. And if it's overwhelming, just focus on the moment you're in. It's just like mindfulness. So if I'm wiping down a counter, I can think about how this counter is a mess. And each time I go over a place and get it truly clean, I've got that little spot clean. And now the next, until I finish the whole island. And you just go through the kitchen or whatever the task is, bit by bit, like that. Another possible way to be mindful, instead of focusing on what you're getting clean and how you're getting it the way you want it to be, is just to think about what you're experiencing in that moment. So I've talked about this before, how when you're washing your hands or you're washing dishes, you just focus on what the water feels like, what that experience is, the smell of the dish soap, the sound of the water running, just your 5 senses. What are you experiencing? And as you get yourself into that present moment of whatever is happening, whatever you're experiencing, you get outside of all those thoughts that run in your head, either about frustrations with the mess or the overwhelm in general that you're dealing with in your life that your brain wants to keep thinking about. Now that the kitchen is clean and tidy, I'm already feeling a lot more relaxed, a lot more like in control, at least of this space, which kind of translates into my general feeling of like getting rid of overwhelm. And I can look around outside of the kitchen at the rest of the house and I still see mess, and I know there's a lot that's not clean and tidy, but just having this one room taken care of is making a huge difference already. And if I get to nothing else today, at least I know I've made really good progress there. And I know that'll make a difference to my general state of being. And then tomorrow, if I have time, I can tackle another area and just keep working through. So that's the first two. And the third item under clear your space is to declutter. Now that can be a whole huge project on its own. And sometimes that can be overwhelming to me just by itself, because the decision making is sometimes overwhelming for me, because it's so easy for me to decide that I should keep something and so difficult to make the decision to part with it. So Today, because I know that decluttering can be overwhelming for me, I'm going to leave that for another time. And I know that when I have prepared my headspace for that activity, if I can declutter things, the more that I get rid of, the less that I have to take care of, and that helps in decreasing overwhelm. So that's on the list, but for the reasons I explained, I'm not going to tackle that one today. The second category after clear your space is clear your mind. And I'm going to save those tips for the next video. Stay tuned next week for that.